It's something we say 100 times a day without even thinking about it. We're all absolutely convinced it's one of the most solid, undeniable facts of our lives.
I mean, it feels completely obvious, right? It's just a simple statement of fact. You know what it means, I know what it means. Or do we? Okay, let's really dive into this because when you start to push on that one simple word, the whole idea just kind of starts to fall apart. We're going to go on a hunt for a real explanation.
To do this properly, we've got to have a standard. We need to agree on what a good definition even is before we can figure out if our everyday words actually meet that standard.
So, here's the crucial thing. A real definition can't just be a word game. It has to give you solid, usable information that doesn't just point you to another word that's just as fuzzy.
And that's exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to take this high standard and just relentlessly apply it to the words we think we know inside and out. Words like have, own, mine, and yours.
All right, this is where the chase really begins. Let's try to define these super common words and see if we can find any solid ground, or if we just end up running in circles.
Seems easy enough, doesn't it? If I tell you I have my keys, what am I actually saying? Let's try to nail it down. A pretty common answer would probably be something like,
Okay, control. Yeah, that sounds a little more concrete. But we can't just stop there. To meet our standard, we have to define control. So, what does it mean to be in control? So now we're at authority. See what's happening here? We're just swapping one abstract idea for another. But okay, let's keep pulling the thread. What is authority?
And boom, there it is again. Now we're leaning on the idea of a right. The chain is getting longer, sure, but are we getting any closer to something real, something stable? What's a right?
Whoa, wait a minute. Ownership? That sounds suspiciously close to where we started all this. It feels like the definition is starting to bend back on itself. Okay, let's take that final step. What is ownership?
And there it is. We are right back where we started. To own is to have, and to have is to own. We haven't actually explained a single thing.
And look, this is not an accident. This is the basic structure of all our language about possession. It's a closed circle of words, each one pointing to the next, with no escape hatch to a real-world observable definition.
And this is just a brilliant way to put it. It looks all formal, it sounds official, but really, it's just the same idea repeating itself over and over, dressed up in different words. No new information has actually been delivered.
So if the words themselves are empty, what in the world are we doing when we use them? This is where we have to make a clean break between what we can actually see and what we just say.
This is where the split becomes crystal clear. On one side, you've got physical things you can actually observe. Someone is near an object, they're touching it, they're using it. And on the other side, you have these giant, abstract labels we just slap on top of those actions. We see someone handling a thing, but we declare they have ownership.
I mean, really think about it. Have you ever seen pure possession just floating in the air? Or have you only ever seen people doing stuff and then heard the language of possession used to describe it? The truth is, possession is never found, it's only ever declared.
So why? Why do we all use this looping, empty language? Well, it's because it serves a really powerful social function. It's not designed to explain anything, it's designed to end the conversation.
This is such a perfect metaphor. The moment you ask, hey, why can he do that with the car, and someone answers because he owns it, the investigation just stops. The trapdoor opens and your question falls right through, completely unanswered.
These words give us this fake feeling that we understand something. We feel like we've gotten an answer, so we stop thinking. It's really just a social signal that says, do not ask any more questions about this.
And this is the truly devastating conclusion. So much of our society, our laws, our economy, our ideas of who we are, is built on these concepts of property and rights and ownership. But when you look closely, they're like a castle made of fog. It looks solid from a distance, but if you try to grab onto it, your hand goes right through.
So, how do we navigate this world of labeled fog? I mean, we can't just stop using the words, but we can start listening to them in a totally new way.
Here's a practical tool you can use, like starting today. The next time you hear someone say, that's mine or he owns that, just run it through this little filter. What is actually physically happening here? Is any real information being offered? Or are you just hearing that comfortable, familiar noise that signals the end of thought?
And that's really the question this all leaves us with.
When we build entire systems of justice and economics on words that nobody can actually define, what kind of conversations are we really having? And what happens when we start to realize that the foundation might just be an echo?